Hello, everybody. Compliments of the season. We are into 2022, and God willing, it will be a better year than the previous one. And my heartfelt thank you to all our Calcutta Talkies subscribers and well wishers. Because of your support, we have been successful so far. So far, so good. We look forward to your continuous support, love, blessings, and affection. Please continue to be with the channel Calcutta Talkies family. All right? And my dear friends, today I'm just going to read out a very interesting small little passage. একটি ছোট প্যাসেজ আমি পড়ে শোনাবো। খুব ফেমাস নাম করা একটি গল্পের সারাংশ আমি পড়ে শোনাবো। That is basically a synopsis from a famous story written by the famous classical writer Homer, Troy. And those who have seen the movie, which came out there was a movie which came out in the 1980s also, and then just about a decade ago, Troy. If you have seen the movie Troy, acted by the famous actor Brad Pitt and some other famous actors and actresses, you'll be able to relate to this passage. And the main purpose I'm going to read out this passage is there are quite a few interesting words in this passage. So I'll be giving you the meaning of these words per se, this passage. As I always say, it depends on the application of the word. It's not that you see any word and that word, and like check it on the Google and then you get one meaning and use it for somewhere and then it will sound so funny. So it doesn't work that way. It has to be, you have to think about the application of that word. That same word can have various meanings, okay? So you have to understand that. একই শব্দের অনেক রকম প্রয়োগ হয়, so সেটা আগে বুঝতে হবে. So anyway, we are going to quickly go ahead. And apart from just reading the passage, it's a very interesting story, historical, not exactly historical, but very interesting story. And a lot of people should be knowing about it. We know about it. And there's an expression, the Trojan horse. I'll come into that later. But try to listen to it. If you can't comprehend it at the on the first attempt, listen to it a second time, and then refer to the 12 words that I'll be giving and the meanings, and you'll find the story very interesting. Okay? All right. Here we go with the story. The name of the story? Troy. It's about the Trojan War. Trojan. Trojan War. The Trojans and the Greeks were always fighting. Anyway, here we are. The Trojan War is one of the most famous wars in history. It is well known for the 10-year duration, for the heroism of a number of legendary characters, and for the Trojan horse. Just to let you know that the Trojan horse was a big horse made out of wood, which was used in the story. Okay? Okay, here we are. What may not be familiar, however, is the story as to how and why the war began. According to Greek myth, the strife between the Trojans and the Greeks started at the wedding of Peleus, king of Thessaly, and Thetis, a sea nymph. Okay? All of the gods and goddesses had been invited to the wedding celebration in Troy except Eris, the goddess of discord. She had been omitted from the guest list because her presence always embroiled mortals and immortals alike in conflict. To take revenge on those who had slighted her, Eris decided to cause a skirmish. Into the middle of the banquet hall, she threw a golden apple marked for the most beautiful. All of the goddesses began to haggle over who should possess it. The gods and goddesses reached a stalemate, and when the choice was narrowed to Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, it came down to these three. Out of these three, who will be the winner? Someone was needed to settle the controversy by picking a winner. The job eventually fell to Paris, son of King Priam of Troy, who was said to be a good judge of beauty. Paris did not have an easy task. Each goddess, eager to win the golden apple, tried aggressively to bribe him. "I'll grant you vast kingdom to rule," promised Hera. "Vast kingdoms are nothing in comparison with my gift," contradicted Athena. "Choose me, and I'll see that you win victory and fame in war." Aphrodite outdid her adversaries, however. She won the golden apple by offering Helen, Zeus's daughter, and the most beautiful mortal, to Paris. Paris, anxious to claim Helen, set off for Sparta in Greece to get hold of her, to meet Helen. Although Paris learned that Helen was already married, he accepted the hospitality of her husband, King Menelaus of Sparta, anyway. Therefore, Menelaus was outraged for a number of reasons when Paris departed, taking Helen and much of the king's wealth back to Troy. Well, he ran away with his wife and the wealth of that kingdom and came back to Troy. Menelaus collected his loyal forces and set sail, Jahajnie, with all the boats and warships, sailed towards Troy to begin the war to reclaim Helen, to get Helen back. So that's the conflict and the fight that starts. The battle, the Trojan War began all over Helen. Now the words quickly, okay? We have word. Please, later on, you may listen to these words and try to note them down as I keep telling them, so that you can refer to it later when you're listening to it. পরে এই শব্দগুলো আমি এখন লিখে নাও, সুবিধা হবে। পরে আবার যখন শুনবে তখন এগুলো মিলিয়ে নিও। Okay? Here we go. 1. Legendary. It comes from the word legend. Legendary. Legendary means somebody who is, for years and years and years, he's done something and he's very famous, renowned, kiংবদন্তি. Any Tom, Dick and Harry can't become a legend. Okay? You have to do something outstanding to be a legend. Like in the music world here in India, we can say Kishore Kumar is a legend. Like that. Okay? 2. Well, this is, it's become an expression, Trojan horse. It's actually a wooden horse that was used to hide soldiers and was placed and so that it could, get access. একটা কাঠের বিশাল ঘোড়া তৈরি করেছিল, তার ভিতরে শত্রু বাহিনীর যোদ্ধারা লুকিয়েছিল এবং সেটাকে দুর্গের ভিতরে কোনো রকম ভাবে ঢোকানো হয়েছিল এবং রাত্রে তারা বেরিয়ে এসেছিল সেখান থেকে। So, it's like an expression like ঘরের ভেতর বিভীষণ, something like that. The enemy comes in that way, in a camouflaged manner. So, like, we can refer to that, oh my God, he's like a Trojan horse. I don't want to take names, but like politicians and political parties, এই পার্টি থেকে ওই পার্টি যায় কয়েকদিনের জন্য, so they're like a Trojan horse. Anyway, 3. Myth. M-Y-T-H. Myth comes from mythology. Myth is basically something which doesn't have any historical facts actually. Okay, so that's a myth. Keokichu bollo, something happened. That's a myth, not the truth. Okay, number 4. In this passage you'll find it. Strife. Look in the passage and look for these words again. Strife, S-T-R-I-F-E, strife means unrest. In Bengali, osthirota. Strife, there's a strife in the factory. Okay? Nymph, N-Y-M-P-H. Well, nymph over here you will see, nymph is basically a sea creature, a type of a mythological sea animal. Okay? Then 6. Discord, D-I-S-C-O-R-D, discord. Discord means unhappiness, in Bengali, Ashanti, discord. There was discord among the ministers. Okay? 7. Embroiled, E-M-B-R-O-I-L-E-D, embroiled. Look it up, as I again say, in the passage. Listen to it and you'll hear it, how I'm used, where this word embroiled comes in the passage. Then you'll relate to it. Okay? Embroiled means jodiye jawa, getting involved. Don't get embroiled in a street fight. Okay? Then we have 8. Slighted, S-L-I-G-H-T-E-D, slighted. Slighted means here, in this context. Please listen to it in the passage when I'm reading it. Slighted means insulted here, opomanito. Okay? Then we have 9. Skirmish, S-K-I-R-M-I-S-H, skirmish. Skirmish means a sort of a fight, jhamela, between two groups. Then we have 10. Haggle, H-A-G-G-L-E, H-A-G-G-L-E, haggle. A sort of bargaining. Usually the way people bargain in a fish market, like you haggle in a fish market. This is this much, I'll pay this much. It carries on and on. Stop haggling. Pan kora. That's haggling. And then 11, stalemate. S-T-A-L-E-M-A-T-E. Stalemate. So stalemate basically means ocholobostha in Bengali. Neither this way nor that way. The meeting between the Indian armed forces and the Chinese force reached a stalemate. Nothing, no solution. Okay? It always happens. And finally, 12, bribe, B-R-I-B-E, B-R-I-B-E, bribe. Bribe means offering something to get something done illegally. Basically, in Hindi, rishwat. In Bengali, ghush. We are very familiar with that in our country. All right, guys, I think that's all for today. Wishing all of you a pleasant year ahead. Let's hope things work out in a much better manner than the previous 2 years we've gone through. All right, I'll be with you all very soon again. Take care. Bye-bye.